This episode of True News is sponsored by Surfshark.
Do you want to have a Surfshark?
What's a Surfshark, you might ask yourselves?
It's an app and or browser extension, Lawrence.
Wow, you remembered those phrases just off the top of your head. It's also a virtual private network, which basically allows you to be anonymous online or to put yourself in another country somewhere in the world. Say you wanted to watch a certain interview a little bit earlier than everyone else and you wanted to catch up with it before anyone else had seen
Oprah.
it. Say you were Piers Morgan and you wanted to get the inside scoop just a couple of days before anyone else did.
You would tap my phone, wouldn't you?
Well, you wouldn't if you were Piers, because Piers never did that. But what you would do if you were Piers Morgan, but you're not Piers Morgan, is to get a virtual private network, take yourself into America virtually, because Piers isn't really welcome back there after the CNN.
Because he got sacked, didn't he?
Anyway,
he got ran off that job because they thought he was a prick.
Exactly. And what you do is you go back to America and watch it before it airs on one of those channels, so that then when you won't be as outraged on the morning that, say, the news breaks, and you can have a nice calm head and assess things as you're meant to as a journalist. That's just one of the uses. Do you want a bit of Netflix when you've gone all the way through the English Netflix? You want to go to the American one? You're Spanish.
Estoy rodeado por criaturas extrañas.
You like a bit of Spanish Netflix?
You're missing home.
Take yourself over to Spain. Not really. Just on your phone or your laptop.
There you go then. You're welcome. Enjoy it. Such a great VPN.
Yeah, exactly.
You sold it. Hook, line and sinker.
Yeah. But would you
Where do I sign up, Lawrence?
Well, you don't only sign up at surfshark.deals/Geordie. Links in the description if that's a little bit tricky for you.
Awesome.
But you also then enter the promo code Geordie for how much off you're saying? 83% and 3 months free.
3 months free. Now time for True News.
I've worked out the next leg for the podcast. Here's what you need to do. Garden, glasses. What? That's how you interview people.
My God.
Oh, dear Lord. You could be Britain's Oprah Winfrey. You are Britain's Oprah Winfrey.
I've always thought that.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I've always been shooting for, it's that. So for some reason, we've still got a royal family.
We don't know why. We don't know. We don't know.
They basically get all of the privilege of running a country, the money, the riches, the cars, the
golf,
hookers and all of that.
Polo.
But they don't have to worry about actually running the country. She's handed that off to democracy.
Yeah.
While she still runs the country and creams all of the money off the top.
Right. But that's because it's good for tourism, right?
Oh, yeah,
they make loads of money because the Americans fly in and a couple of dumb people from Europe fly in and go, oh my God,
well,
of course,
because she stood outside of Buckingham Palace taking selfies all day, every day, shaking hands, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
The Queen then has a son with her fella who used to be...
He was in with the lot that, we defeated in the second one of those 2 times where it was sort of like...
allegedly it was us versus them, but, he was...
And then there was a bit of mixing afterwards. Let's just say they don't mind mixing with the bad guys from time to time, do you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? So she then has a bit of a loser for a son. It's a bit awkward.
But less about Andrew. He loved Pizza Express, though.
Pizza Express in Woking for a party.
She has Charles, a bit of a letdown by all accounts. They try and set him up with a really hot woman.
Wow.
We'll call her Diana.
Because that was her name.
That was her name. She's a lot younger and hotter than he was.
And also a lot more personable. Like, the people who instantly meet her seem to melt at her feet and go, God, you're just so lovely and relatable. You're exactly what we want from someone who's meant to be ruling us.
He was a robot by comparison. So
Good to meet you.
But in the meantime, they did have a child.
He sired 2 children with this woman. What beautiful young children you have, William, and a younger one called Harry.
Diana was treated terribly by the media, harassed constantly. She was in a state of depression, and the royal family did very little to protect her. And if anything, after the divorce, a lot of people think they encouraged it because they did not want to see Diana go on to succeed. Diana then does a tell-all interview where she admits there were 3 of us in this relationship.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage.
Points the finger at Charles and then goes and finds herself a very wealthy Egyptian man.
Also quite attractive, it's fair to say.
There you go, though. She levelled up.
Yeah, exactly.
She levelled up.
Massively, yeah.
And allegedly got pregnant to him.
Yeah, which not good for the...
so when she's been the mother of the nice royal white princes and then she's off with a mixed race baby.
Mixed race baby that happens to have a different religion to the royal family, shall we just say?
They probably weren't loving it. That was never confirmed, but strangely, she was getting chased by the paparazzi going into a tunnel.
City of Love.
And in the first time ever in history, never happened since, died running away from the paparazzi in her car after a car accident.
Yeah.
And
Very
lot of people think that might not be true.
Yes. Well, but we cannot pass opinion either way.
What would we know? We weren't there,
No. No one else was in that tunnel at the time, making sure that everything went off just as planned.
Weirdly, she ended up having to stay in the ambulance for a long time and was pronounced dead in the ambulance instead of going into the hospital. Less said about that, the better.
Just very sad. Very sad incident.
Her sons then go and grow up, and as hard as it is, the nation supported them, and they went and met two lovely women. One woman called Kate
Middleton, because that was her name.
She was very well-to-do and, you know, a little English rose, and you'd say just perfect in the terms of they don't want someone who's too mouthy. Then Harry, the bad boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably smoked weed once or twice.
Did he love a doobie?
Did he love a doobie?
Apparently he loved it.
He went to Munchie City, I heard.
Yeah. Not only that, but he did sort of relatable things along the way. Like he was in the army and he ran away mid-interview to go help his mates out and stuff. And then there was this one time at a party where he dressed up as his granddad. I think it was his granddad. So anyway, Harry's out there playing the field. Sure, he's on Tinder, swiping away. He's on all these social plenty-o fish, shit like that. He's out there. One day, rolls across a very beautiful woman that goes by the name of
Meghan Markle.
Because that was her name.
And she was a absolute little stunner.
A dime piece, as they call her in the States.
An absolute 10. So Meghan was a gorgeous looking woman. Bit of a failed actress.
Not failed, no. She was in Suits, a very successful series within the USA and the UK, loved globally, and she had a bit of a love interest, bit of a sex scene. That was sizzling. Should Harry be sleeping with a woman who's had sex on TV?
Well,
I think not.
She decides, I'll have a bit of Harry, actually.
Yeah.
Loving life.
Lovely.
And they then consummate the marriage, of course.
Okay.
And
missed out the fact they got married, but fair play to you.
whatever, get to the important bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's then very differently, shockingly, to Kate.
Good old Kate. Beautiful.
Just can't think why, Lawrence.
Beautiful
can't
Kate.
think why.
Beautiful skin Kate's got. And just the way she cradles a baby bump, just sort of walks around. So it's just so easy to be with, you know? Whereas Meghan, I hear she bullies people, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I hear she's, once or twice, she's made a couple of people cry.
Yeah.
So...
Have you seen the way she cradles that baby bump?
Oh,
is this she's trying to do it harm?
Yeah, there's something evil about the way she does it. Also, the way that she sort of just hangs around with Harry quite a lot. There's something suspicious about
I think
that.
she just does all the thinking for him. I think he's under the thumb there.
It's
he needs to get a
suspicious.
brain of his own.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's not like he's basically been controlled for his entire life and told what to do and then meets someone else who says, hey, there might be another way of thinking about this. And he's sort of gone,
No,
yeah.
she's the one controlling him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, he was perfectly normal before he met her.
Yeah.
And now she's controlling him.
Well, before, he did everything we said and now he doesn't do anything we say.
Are you trying to say that she might have opened his eyes to what's been going on all these years?
That's not what I'm trying to say, Brian. I'm trying to insinuate it. All I'm saying is this beautiful young mixed-race woman had to put up with so much shit from the Daily Mail that these people thought it might be better to leave the country and go halfway across the world to get away from these fucking cunts who write all this shit on these fucking websites. And you think these people are the mad ones?
We were trying to allude to it.
We were trying to allude to it. I was just saying.
They did an interview.
Yes.
A bit like his mother did. And
She wore the same colours.
let's just say, after what his mother went through, he was worried about his wife going through the same thing, almost to another level, because now you're talking about a situation that's become, it's got racial
undertones.
Yeah. And it's even worse now.
They did the thing with Oprah. Because once you do something with Oprah, the whole world listens.
So in the big interview that Meghan did with Oprah, they were told security would not be provided for the newborn.
It's an unusual one. They didn't tell you. They don't really give you many solid answers in this interview. There wasn't really much of a... It was a bit...
really value him.
Open-ended.
You've got lots of money for the security. We've seen all the money. Why can we not? They're busy that week.
Has the risk gone down?
How long?
Forever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever and ever.
Has the risk gone down for our son? Will he be in less danger? Do you think he'll be in less danger because he's not a royal? No, the danger's exactly the same. It's just we don't want to provide the royal anything, really.
With you, because you're not really royal to us.
Yeah, you're just sort of...
Why is that? Don't know, really. Harry's relationship with Will is having some space apart.
Right. Sometimes you got to do that.
They're not talking.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Read into that what you will. He's also barely talking to his dad, Charles,
who apparently wouldn't pick the phone up to him for a little while.
Yeah,
it's awkward because
probably doesn't know how he's very old.
Yeah, exactly. Or he probably thinks nanotechnology or something.
And then it turned out that Meghan making Kate cry, as the media reported it, was the complete other way around.
Now this was a good one because a few people have also refuted this, and a few people have also, who did report it, say, well, I was told and I think that. And I thought, you're a shit journalist, aren't you? You just take whatever it is that the royal family say, take the money from them and then go, yeah, I think I'll print that.
So they then cut them both off financially.
Right.
Luckily, Princess Diana had left Harry money and he was then able to live on that.
Wow.
So he's now living on his mother's money. Can you, just think that through. Like, that's to the level that they've cut him off here.
Yeah.
Now, I know for us regular folk, boo-hoo, but this should be telling us all what these people are like.
Yeah.
Purely because he wanted to move to another part of the world with his girlfriend, with his wife. Can you understand how mental that is to treat one of the members of your family like that? It's bizarre. One of the biggest bombshells, which is that someone who he didn't name asked on the colour of the baby's skin prior to it being born. Now, he isn't speaking to his dad or his brother, interestingly, but we just don't know who that was.
We don't know. We know for a fact
whoever it was felt very comfortable,
right?
Which would lead me to believe it was someone very close to him, and then he's not speaking to his dad or his brother, but I still can't name who that might be.
I don't know who it is, and we can't say. We do know for a fact, though, it's not the Queen or Philip, and I've got to say, I had my suspicions over one of them.
And the final one, which was quite severe and shocking, was that Meghan was pushed to a point of feeling suicidal. As someone who's obviously felt that way before, knowing the slither of crap that I've gone through in terms of public scrutiny compared to what Meghan has gone through, I can quite easily believe that she would have felt that way, because when it feels like so many people don't like you anymore, and you're feeling really bad about yourself, you can understand how someone would get to the point where they go, well, if everyone doesn't like me, then maybe I just shouldn't be here anymore. And it just reinforces that negative mind state.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a lot of empathy for her, and I'm sure a lot of you do. One person who didn't is Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan.
Don't believe you.
That stand-up member of society.
After all he's done for mental health this year.
So much.
Clearly he cares a lot when he has been one of the biggest scaremongers in regards to COVID. Don't get me wrong, we all know COVID is something to be fearful of, and obviously people have died from it. But if there's someone who's added fuel to the fire and made people as scared as humanly possible to an unnecessary degree, the way he would go on, I can't imagine how much he's contributed to some people out there feeling down. Not that he gives a fuck about mental health, as he's proven by saying he doesn't believe Meghan. It was a matter of days before this interview dropped that Piers Morgan was hammering Meghan Markle over what earrings she was wearing because they had some sort of link to the Saudis.
Yes.
Now, to have a go at Meghan in defence of the royal family over the earrings she's wearing having a link to the Saudis when the Saudi royal family have been in bed with our royal family for years is the most twisted logic you will ever find in your life. It's almost like he just wants to attack Meghan for nothing. Nevertheless, people have had enough of his shit, yes. Did I sum that up?
Yeah, nailed that. Absolutely nailed it. Yeah. So anyway, Piers Morgan, and by his own show, was clipped up as he erupted at Prince Harry and Meghan's interview.
The most important thing today, having seen the overnight trailer from America, is that we do continue to leave the Duke and Duchess of Sussex alone.
We continue to leave them alone, he says, after a campaign of just utter vile hatred from him for years against these people.
The trailer's almost like a movie. It's a movie. And the most important thing to remember is we're in the middle of a global pandemic.
By the way, Piers Morgan, they're completely taking the interview out of context because, of course, in a trailer, you never start the trailer by going, we know it's all hard with the pandemic, by the way, but here's what we're also talking about. That's mental to say that's a point.
Big James Corden interview on the top of an open-top Hollywood bus going through Beverly Hills. It's not where you go for privacy normally. You don't normally take a camera crew on top of a Hollywood open-top bus.
The old argument from every person in the press, and we'll take Piers apart at every second here, the old argument in the press that if you want privacy on any level, then it has to be absolute privacy or no privacy at all. You can't speak about your experience at all, or you must speak about it absolutely and completely bare your soul.
For Prince Harry, does it get any more embarrassing than this?
Does it get any more embarrassing than doing an interview with someone? It's the lowest of the low, says Piers Morgan, a man who runs an ITV interview show.
A man who has interviewed child killers and shook their hands.
Yeah.
But yet he thinks...
This is the low.
This is the low.
You've reached an all-time low there.
Do you remember that, by the way? Do you remember when he interviewed people who were murderers and treated them with the utmost respect?
Absolutely.
And would shake the hand after every interview, just in case they got out one day and managed to find out where the fuck he lived and slit his little throat.
Yeah, because
it's
not a little throat.
He always managed to treat them with the utmost... The guy never even raised his voice. He treats serial killers better than he treats Meghan and Harry, as if they've done anything that bad. The guy's fucking insane.
It's awkward. Yeah. I will go down a bit of Piers Morgan's own history here, because Piers Morgan, I don't know if you know, has sort of got a speckled past, should we say, when it comes to being an editor of a newspaper or covering things in the news or being honest with the public about some of the stories and the way that he acquired them. Here's Piers Morgan in one of the biggest inquiries ever in the UK, basically denying that he knew anything about anything when it came down to phone hacking, within his own newspaper. We're about to tear Piers a new arsehole.
Have you listened to recordings of what you knew to be illegally obtained voicemail messages?
I do not believe so, no.
Piers didn't believe so at the time. Piers doesn't believe a lot in this interview. And when he is questioned, I believe I've never heard Piers say believe so much. Because it seems he doesn't believe a lot of whatever happens at any point.
He doesn't believe in absolutes, Lawrence, like yes or no.
No.
Because at some point, that might come back to, I believe, bite him in the arse.
I believe so.
Well, you either did or you didn't. I don't think it's a question of belief.
No, it is.
Have you
I do not
listened
believe
to recordings of what you knew to be illegally obtained voicemail messages?
I do not believe so.
Again, he doesn't believe so. So there's Piers
He's a
Morgan.
non-believer.
Yeah. Now, Brian, I don't know if you've ever listened to a voicemail, but very often these voicemails will be speaking very specifically to one person, because very often you'll believe you're only speaking to that person. Yeah? Uh-huh. Because when you leave a voicemail, it tends to be to the phone of that person that they'll go and pick it up themselves. There was a bit of controversy sometimes because some journalists were sort of picking up the voicemails for the celebrities.
Oh, how nice of them.
Almost like a helpful service. Some of these celebrities weren't particularly thrilled about people hacking in.
And that happened...
No, here's the thing, Brian. Piers Morgan didn't know anything about it, despite the fact that at the time he was an editor of one of the biggest papers that was publishing some of the biggest scoops in the UK, which you almost couldn't have known about unless you'd had access to the voicemails.
But he didn't believe he knew that.
Didn't know. No idea.
I, for one, believe him.
I'll lay it out like this for you. Piers is either a liar, and I'm not saying that he is, or he's a grossly incompetent editor of a newspaper who doesn't know what happens under his own roof.
Makes you think maybe he probably shouldn't have been given many jobs after this.
It really makes you wonder why you'd hero a guy who either isn't good at his job because he lies about what he does, or he isn't good at his job because he can't keep the people who he manages under control and doing something that's morally wrong. You be the judge. Piers didn't know.
You listened to a tape of a voicemail message, is that correct?
I listened to a tape of a message, yes.
I listened to a tape of a message. Did you listen to the voicemail? Well, no, I listened to a message.
But it was a voicemail message, wasn't it?
I believed it was, yes.
He believed it was at the time. So Piers didn't know 100%, but
terrible.
What Piers is trying to basically say is the word yes there. Yes, it was a voicemail that I listened to. We don't know how that was obtained. So anyway, there are a lot of people who were working under Piers Morgan at whatever place he edited at the time, and when Piers says he was quite a hands-off editor, which of course we all know Piers to be the kind of hands-off, laid-back guy that we've seen on ITV.
Yeah, absolutely. Chilled-out entertainer.
There are a couple of people who sort of refuted these claims, though, said he was quite, what's the phrase, hands-on, and that he set the culture. But let's let this guy.
My first editor, Piers Morgan, very much set the trend. He was, I want that story at all costs. Pretty much, I don't care what you have to do to get that story. I mean, he wanted to be number one.
A man of moral principle. I respect that, Piers.
Absolutely. He was driven by a need to sell copies.
Whatever it took.
Piers Morgan has also been found to have said maybe threatening things to other female celebrities, talking to them about how they should set passwords on their voicemail. It's an unusual thing to say to another person at a dinner party. Just turn to them and go, you should set a password on your voicemail. And then just almost continue with the conversation as if nothing else had happened.
Just looking out for them, Lawrence.
Absolutely.
He's just a good, warm-hearted, caring guy.
Absolutely. But really the thing that I want to talk to you about is the time when Piers Morgan was rebuffed by Meghan Markle, because there's nothing more entertaining than watching a man talk about how he once went on a date with a woman and then she left him for a prince.
2 hours in the pub, she had a couple of dirty martinis, had a couple of pints, we got on brilliantly. And then I put her in a cab, and it turned out to be a cab that took her to a party where she met Prince Harry. And then the next night they had a solo dinner together, and that was the last I ever heard from Meghan Markle.
Oh, good laugh.
And I have never heard from her again.
You know when women meet you once and then don't contact you again, tends not to be a problem with the woman.
Because he was a cunt, isn't it?
Because you're a cunt, mate. Because you're a massive dick.
So what happened?
She ghosted me, Ryan. Meghan Markle ghosted me.
But the great thing about Piers, though, the one thing you've got to give him credit for, is he's never let it impact his opinion of her now.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for.
What she worked so hard
The
for?
woman hasn't worked a day in her fucking life.
Oh no, now that's not fair. She once went to that market and had to say, I'm normal.
She cut a few fucking ribbons up.
But that's hard work.
Bloody hell, man. I don't think a fucking brow's ever seen a bead of sweat.
That's, again, a little unfair on the Queen, but I do understand when you're talking about, say, an Andrew or someone, although he doesn't sweat, so, you know.
And it's all been done as Prince Philip lies in hospital.
Let's be absolutely clear here. That man's not coming back, Piers.
The man is a vampire, Piers. He's not in a hospital. He's in a coffin, and they let him out at night time.
At best.
But you're prepared to let that bombshell just lie completely unanswered so that we now have to think it could be any one of the royal family that was apparently racist about the skin colour of your child.
This is a son of the Prince of England or Wales, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Saying that was said to him. The outrage should be on what was said to him,
right?
Not on the fact that he has actually said, this is victim blaming 101, you fuckhead. So someone's gone to this bloke about the colour of his child's skin, and this man is angry that he's repeated that.
It's brilliant.
There's actually people defending Piers Morgan.
She apparently made poor Meghan cry.
Well,
she trashes her.
Yeah,
they trash Prince Charles.
That's in response
they trash
to a question
William.
about the
They trash the monarchy, the institution.
Meghan made
and you know what? We're going to bring in Chris Ship here. Chris.
God, Susanna Reid.
I don't know what they're paying her, but
it's not enough.
Nah.
They trash Kate.
Didn't trash her. Didn't trash her.
They actually handled that, I thought, very tactfully when they basically said Kate made Meghan cry. She apologised deeply for it, and they buried that, and they were good afterwards.
Yeah.
So and it was a story that was said about Meghan that was untrue, that she decided to finally clear up.
Yeah, and not only that, but Meghan also said it was obviously a stressful time for me. So of course that was maybe heightened emotions at that time. So it wasn't even really all that bad. And now Piers Morgan is making out as if Kate has been hung out to dry.
I got to say, I watched this interview, A, with my jaw dropping like everybody else.
Well, thankfully that would have joined it to the rest of your neck.
But Meghan has, within this interview, said it got so bad that she was suicidal. And I think a lot of people will feel extremely concerned.
I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well,
there's a massive problem with what he's just said there, and it isn't just because he's judging Meghan. It's about suicidal thoughts in general, and a lot of people who are watching, like millions of people watch this show, a lot of which probably have experienced those kind of thoughts, especially with what we've all been through in the last year. He is then saying, I don't believe this person who said that they've got suicidal thoughts. And when you're having those thoughts, the courage it takes to come out and speak out about it, to then have a prick like that say, I don't believe that person, it's going to make everyone who maybe is just about to get help or wants to speak out think twice. And that is the last kind of example this fucking prick should be setting when he's getting paid that kind of money on this kind of fucking show.
Some people, though, do challenge Piers Morgan, and it does seem like Piers is very much up for a good chat.
Give him credit, you can give it, but he can take it.
And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme.
Just to give some context around this, I think this guy does the weather.
This man has spoken so much shit that the guy who normally just points to the country and goes, sun, bit of rain, he's actually gone, you know what it is, fuck it, I got to actually tell this prick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That says something.
Yeah.
I think that face there is telling everyone, like, he knows he's been rumbled now. His campaign of, like, vicious insults about this woman, now she's had her say, he knows it's all coming crumbling down around him.
Yeah.
And he's actually got someone telling him to his face, finally, what a load of shit he talks.
And here's the thing that gets it for him. It's a fucking lowly weatherman on his show. Like, it's a fucking nobody to him.
Yeah, the janitor stood behind him going, oi, me as well, you prick.
Yeah, and you're a cunt. See ya. It's someone who Piers will have never regarded with any level of respect.
Yeah.
He speaks down to all these people. He speaks over Susanna. He tells other people how it is. He has the last say in this show.
And now the weatherman's gone. Mate, you need to shut the fuck up.
We've had enough of that.
And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to.
That's the stinger. That's the stinger.
Oh, my guy.
That's the stinger.
Nailed him.
So he had a very
you got dropped, son. Deal with it.
Very short relationship with Meghan, within which he spoke to her a handful of times and then went for one drink with her. Never heard from her again.
This is the thing. Right now, women are coming out and speaking out more than ever about how hard it is to be a woman and for men to not handle rejection very well.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is one of the worst ways I've ever seen a man handle rejection.
Definitely. By going publicly on a national show.
Just abuse for months on end.
And not only that, but making sure that his mates in the media definitely helped perpetuate that, shall we say.
Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry. Do you know what? That's pretty good.
Thank you, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Get out.
Sorry, can't do
this.
this.
Is absolutely diabolical behaviour. I'm sorry, but Piers spouts off on a regular basis, and we all have to sit there and listen.
Do you know what it is? You know he hit the nail on the fucking head. Someone finally said it to his face. Guess what, bitch? She hasn't spoke about you since that day. You never shut up about her. Get a fucking grip, you sad old twat.
Piers Morgan tweeting 6:11 a.m.
Yeah,
yesterday.
He's still on, even though he's not got a job anymore,
Yeah.
because, by the way, they parted ways.
Yeah.
We don't know if he walked or he was pushed. I mean, we've seen him walk out, but on Monday, I said I didn't believe Meghan Markle in her Oprah interview. I've had time to reflect on this opinion. At that point, you think, oh, maybe he's
about to do a full 180,
Nah.
like any grown man would, or at least someone who'd go, you know what, I've got a bit more context now, and maybe I understand elements of what she's saying.
Nope, I still don't. If you did, okay. Freedom of speech is a hill I'm happy to die on.
Right.
I think cholesterol is more likely to be the one you go
And
on.
believe me, there's a fucking mountain of that.
Thanks for all the love and hate. I'm off to spend more time with my opinions.
Right.
And then a
With
Winston
families, he
Churchill
calls them.
picture, which says, some people's idea of free speech is that they are free to say what they like, but if anyone says anything back, that is an outrage. The irony when this man, like the pig that he is, has been just going at this woman non-stop for months on end, talking shit, and then someone finally said it back to him and actually called him out for the reason why he's really butthurt about it. And guess what he did, Lawrence? Run away like a little fucking bitch.
Yeah.
That's what. So this whole, oh, you can't say anything back. So someone said something back to you, and you couldn't take it, you fucking bitch. However, done some more research.
Right, yeah.
But the first sign of summer, traditionally at Good Morning Britain, has always been Charlotte Hawkins arriving in a miniskirt for work. And this morning,
You see that look there? You know, if you cover someone's laughing, uncomfortable smile and you see their eyes looking like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Help me.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her. Right?
Yeah.
No one would sit there and go, that's an unusual way to be dressed.
Let's see what Piers Morgan said. We give him a fair crap. Freedom of speech, Brian. Let this
Okay,
man
then.
speak.
here she is. I'll forget.
It's a dress.
I'll forget.
It's just a dress. What?
Come on, you're wearing
Honestly.
it's not a dress, is it?
I don't know why you're getting so
Something Twiggy would have worn
overexcited
in
about the
swinging
fact
60s.
I am wearing a dress.
I only know what you're wearing because as you walk
Breaking
past our
news,
briefing
I have a
meeting,
dress on.
Susanna went, "Oh my God!"
Nothing weirder than one of your old male colleagues noticing your legs under your dress. Summer has arrived, boys. Nothing weirder than walking into a room and someone judging what you're
There is something
wearing.
weirder.
Oh.
Piers Morgan's circle of friends. Do you want to say his mates are? Because to me, you get a real good idea of who someone is by the company they keep, yeah? So at the top left,
Yep.
you've got Harvey Weinstein. If you don't know him, he used to force women to sleep with him for movie roles.
Yeah, so you sort of walk in and you kind of go, listen, could be tricky to get you this role, but
Yeah.
my dick's under the table.
Gary Glitter on the right, who made a lot of money in the music industry and then fucked off to Thailand to have sex with children.
Underage people, should we say. Turns out one of the few people who did want to be in his gang, Piers Morgan.
Max Clifford.
The shamed publicist.
So he basically used to look after clients and get them in the newspapers, hence why he was good friends with Piers.
Slimy little prick.
And would also sleep with underage girls.
Did he? And then Rolf Harris, obviously. Just a
Children's
famous
entertainer
Sure.
who was found to be one of the biggest pedos in the country.
Yeah.
And then bottom right.
One of her close friends passed away recently. Very sad.
Oh, very sad.
Very sad.
I do feel sorry for him. What was he called?
Oh, his name escapes me now, but he died in very unusual circumstances.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, was
That's
that
the
it?
one.
That was the one.
Yeah.
That was the one. He's good friends with Prince Andrew.
There you go.
Really close
Full
friends.
circle.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, wonder why he's so defensive of the royal family.
It's unusual.
Bizarre.
It's unusual.
So yeah, this is Piers Morgan. Normally we don't do this sort of true news because we do care about people's mental health. But obviously, if Piers Morgan has any issues like that, we won't believe him.
Yeah.
So it's fine, Lawrence.
Yeah, we
can
don't
say
need-
what the fuck
but
we want.
here's the
Because
bottom
what's
line.
good for, you know what I mean?
Good for the goose is good for the...
Yes.
Yeah, good for the gander, isn't it? Let me whack your weeds. Oh, sorry. No weeds in that garden. What a beautiful garden Oprah had, eh? Yeah?
I'm sure it's very beautiful and flourishing.
Yeah. But this, if you do have any hairs in your nose, will help you whack them. You don't want to completely get rid of them, but you want to keep them tidy. That's what this does.
You're not going to get that plucking feeling out of your nose.
You might be sitting home thinking, is that painful?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
The
You don't
complete
even
opposite.
feel it.
Yeah, it's really pleasurable actually. You sort of sit there and go, oh, that's quite nice.
Slightly ticklish, but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And then it comes out and you go, oh my God, look at that.
That's what I did as well.
So tidy.
I did the same thing.
Yeah, genuinely, the whole
I couldn't
time.
believe it. I was
Yeah.
looking up my nose the fucking whole day. I was like, wow.
Yeah, genuinely.
This is mental.
Every mirror you
could
catch
eat your
yourself
dinner
in.
off of that.
Normally I catch myself in a mirror and I go, God, that hair looks terrible. Normally now I go, look at that.
No, literally. I went from like looking at myself in the mirror like this to
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah. all the time. You too can have your neck jolted by the Weed Whacker, the great feeling of whacking your weeds.
Not mention the Lawnmower 3.0.
Oh, wow.
If you're doing down below, you want to keep it trim.
Yeah.
You want to keep it nice and tidy.
I thought you were rapping there.
Right?
If you're doing down below,
you don't want to
keep
look
it trim.
like an ugly ball sack.
Wow,
like Piers Morgan.
Brilliant.
You want to look like a handsome one. Like my
Piers
jewels.
Morgan. Right, yeah.
Like my jewels, right? The Lawnmower 3.0 will do all of that and keep you looking trim, tidy, and ready for anything.
To receive 20% off and free shipping, go to manscaped.com/true. That's manscaped.com/true. And you can get 20% off. It's fantastic. Tell them that we sent you and enjoy your day.
You're welcome. Enjoy it. Okay, that was True News. That's how you do the real news, Lawrence.
Thanks for
the
tuning
amateurs, the YouTubers, showing the mainstream how it's done.
Just looking at a couple of clips online. Do the research.
If you want a job, P.S., we need an Arsenal fan for the kickoff.
Yeah, I need someone I can hammer at and shout. You'd be perfect for it. Yeah.
Just punch his face in if you
Absolutely.
want.
And Adam McCall is a massive fan of yours. So, you know,
more
than welcome.
definitely.
More than welcome around the table.
But for the rest of you lot, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you real soon.